You don't need Netflix, you don't need cable. Hop on YouTube, welcome to the hood table, where we chop up local and global events vocally. You don't really wanna miss out on these conversations. Just joke a little, laugh a little, wine in your system, fill your glass a little, expose current events, talk trash a little. You never know, these opinions might clash a little. Get addicted to the content, gotta binge watch. If you don't like it, then you want to invite and bet your friends watching in the house and your job parking lot before you clock in. They don't wanna miss a second of this HD content. Everybody think they got something to say, so it's an open invitation, bring it to the table. But if you come whack, just know we ain't buying in. We gon' probably turn it back until you start tracking. Yeah, welcome to the hood table. You don't need Netflix, you don't need cable. Yeah, welcome to the hood table. You don't need Netflix, you don't need cable.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Hood Table again. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe to the Hood Table. And also, we have a membership. So if you want to hit the join button to join our membership squad, please feel free. Tonight I have with me Miss Cisco, who some of y'all are already familiar with. I was on her channel earlier today, and we was shooting the breeze about Jada and Will Child. But anywho, tonight we're gonna talk about something that's been going on in the community in Omaha, Nebraska, in these streets. Everybody, come on in. Make sure you hit the like button. Also, make sure you hit the share button, and of course, make sure that you subscribe to the Hood Table if you're not already subscribed to the Hood Table. Now, first of all, I'm going to read a post that I happened to come across. Well, actually, somebody had actually read it or tagged me in it or something like that. Tagged me in it. I can't remember. I think they tagged me in it. And so I'm going to read this post to you guys real quick, and then, we're going to get into our conversation. So a couple of nights ago, some lady in our community made this post on her Facebook page. And she said, and I'm going to read exactly what she said. It said, last night around 2 a.m., mind you, this was a couple of days ago. So not last night, but a couple of days ago. It said, last night around 2 a.m., leaving Brick Oven Pizza on 72nd and Dodge Street, two white males in a big gold pickup truck, Dodge Ram or Ford F-150 that was raised on monster truck tires, followed my boyfriend and I and started revving their engine at us and trying to ram into our lane. We tried to speed up and they got in front of us in the opposite lane and started throwing stuff at the windshield. First it was a bottle, then a cup with liquid in it, and then they threw something heavy at the hood of the car. She said she yelled out the window, "What the F?" and they were just laughing like it was funny. At this point, we're almost to Blondo Street and pulled into the McDonald's, so we're in a public place. They pulled into McDonald's and acted like they were going to ram us, so she got out the car. She said, no, probably that was not the smartest, thing to do at the moment. But she asked them again, what the F is wrong with you? What are you doing? And they continue to just laugh it off. Her boyfriend, Eric, tried to walk towards McDonald's door to get someone's attention, and they ran him over with his truck in the parking lot, backed up, and drove off. They took their plates off their car or had just bought it, but it did not have entrances. These were two white males, I would say early mid-30s. We're waiting to get the footage from McDonald's for a better look at the truck, but for right now, we don't have many answers. The cops were very rude and kept asking unnecessary questions about his injuries like we were lying and treating him like he wasn't the victim until all the witnesses started talking to them and explaining the situation. Someone there was filming from a news station, but this has not been shared on any news platform. Now, this person said someone was filming from a news station, and I don't know what news station it could have been because they said it was around 2 a.m. So I'm like, what news station is out at 2 a.m. just riding around, to film, or I don't know. I don't know. They could have been out late at night coming from work, or, headed into work. Who knows? But that is the story. That is what happened in our city a few days ago. So today, I tried to make contact with the guy and the lady, the boyfriend and girlfriend, because I wanted to have them on the show to discuss what was going on, because people was in outrage that it wasn't being covered on the news, that the news hasn't picked up the story yet, and there were people in outrage because hey Harper Sean, hey boo, hey, thank you. That's one of our members, Hood Table Squad members. Thank you for tuning in, love. She said, hey Miss Sislo too. But people are also in outraged because of the fact that the police, I guess they felt like the police should have been more involved, and they said they were treated like they were not the victims. And then, like, McDonald's, I guess they tried to get the footage from McDonald's, because 72nd Street in Omaha is a main street. I mean, it's a long strip, so many miles long. I don't even know how many miles long, but it's so many miles long. It goes from Omaha to La Vista, Papillion, Ralston. It goes city after city after city. That's how long 72nd Street is. And so there's plenty of camera footage, I'm sure, from the Brick Oven Pizza Place on Pacific Street, all the way up to McDonald's on 72nd and Blondo Street. So they kind of was protesting today because they want the police to get that footage. They want the police to ask McDonald's for that tape, So that's why they were protesting today. And somebody, the people that I wanted to interview that this happened to, the couple, was a black man, white lady, interracial couple. Not like it matters, but I'm just, giving y'all a full picture. And they didn't want to be interviewed. They said they wanted to just talk to the news station. So the news station did come out, and I did actually talk to the guy for a little bit, on camera. He did talk to me for a little bit, and, we did exchange some words, and he told me a little bit about what happened and stuff. And so I was there to support. I was there to support. A lot of other people in Omaha was there to support. We live. Everybody's sharing, their posts. We want action. We want the police to get the tapes and, all this kind of stuff. And so they can try to find out who these people were who was doing this hate crime, because I call it a hate crime, what they were doing. If you just look at the bigger picture, it appears to be a hate crime. And so I was there to support. I'm repping the Hood Table. I'm there. I'm out here supporting. And that I didn't have no problem with. I had no problem with that. But then after I leave the rally, the protest, somebody inboxes me some information about the black guy who was ran over. And it's in regard to him being charged and convicted and serving prison time a few years ago for sex trafficking. Now, in a storyline, it says Columbus, Nebraska, a 31-year-old Texas man accused of raping a teenage girl in a local motel entered a last-minute plea to avoid a trial this week in Platte County District Court. Eric Mills pleaded no contest to sex trafficking of a minor as part of an agreement with the prosecution reached Tuesday when his trial was scheduled to begin. The Class 2 felony is punishable by up to 50 years in prison with a minimum of 1 year behind bars. In exchange for the plea, the Platte County Attorney's Office dismissed 3 counts of first-degree sexual assault, which are also Class 2 felonies. Mills, who is scheduled to be sentenced August 4th, has been in custody at the Platte County Detention Facility since his arrest in last January. Court documents in the case describing an incident in which Mills, who was working in Columbus, met a 16-year-old girl in Omaha and later agreed to pick her up in Omaha on January 23rd. Mills and the teenager, along with another man who accompanied the defendant, met up at an Omaha gas station. Columbus police investigator Heath Haynes said in his arrest statement that the victim reported that she and the men ended up in Columbus and checking into a local motel. The victim said the 2 men who picked her up were joined at the motel by a third man. The victim said Mills, who appeared to be a pimp forced her to sniff cocaine, then began talking to the other men about money and having sex with her, Haynes reported. The victim said the men refused. The victim said the men refused, and Mills got upset and grabbed her by the arm and pulled her in a bedroom and shut the door. That's what the officer wrote in his statement. The teen then said Mills raped her multiple times over a period of hours, the officer said. Now, what we're going to discuss tonight is there was obviously a hate crime done against this guy, Eric Mills, in Omaha a couple of nights ago.
Mm-hmm.
But after a lot of people who were in support of him and sharing their posts and coming out to the rally, the protest and everything, once this news hit, and it happened in 2015, and I vaguely remember the story. So a lot of people is backing out from supporting him. Some people is like, that's what he get. This is payback. It could be the family getting revenge. You know, all these scenarios is out there.
Right.
But my thing is, like I titled the show, just because he was tried and, you know, did a plea deal. I was looking at the court records, and it said like he did like 4 years or something like that. And just because of that, does that negate from the fact that a hate crime was committed against him in our city by some white men riding around at 2:00 in the morning in a truck, and they're following people and they're harassing people and they're screaming and yelling at them and they're throwing things at their car, trying to run them off the road. And then when the black man tries to run inside McDonald's to get help, they drive over him. They ran into him and he had to go to the hospital and suffer some serious injuries on his arm. And like he told me today, thank God it wasn't his head. Like when he fell after they hit him and they ran him over, thank God it wasn't his head that they ran over, because they obviously ran over him on purpose to hurt him. And it seemed like it might have even been premeditated, because the girlfriend said there was no plates on the car and no plates on the truck. And there was also no entrances on the truck. So she thinks they might have took the plates off because this was something that they had intended to do or planned to do that late night, early morning. So, Miss Tesla, I want you to chime in and let me know what you think.
Okay, well, I would say that's coming from me. I don't have anything open.
You got like a background noise.
I know that's the air.
Okay. Could you like move away from it a little bit?
Not really. Not really. Hang on. Let me, well, yeah, because there's really not a whole lot of places to come in my daughter's apartment.
Okay, because there's really a lot of feedback. Yeah, but I mean, if you have to proceed, go ahead with your
Well, what I was gonna say is, first of all, like one thing doesn't really, okay, let's say this. If in fact these were people that could have been getting back at him for whatever reason, then they had to have been, it had to have been premeditated, as they said, and they had to have been following these people and keeping up with their whereabouts and all that type of thing. What he did was absolutely wrong. He served his time for it. He was convicted, tried, whatever, and served his time and what have you. Now, anybody can change.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? People can change, but something like sexual assault, especially on a child, are things that, in the minds of most people, was unforgivable.
Mm-hmm.
And but the fact that he was accosted and attacked by a truck full of white people while he was with his white companion probably had absolutely nothing to do with the other situation. But the fact that it was a coincidence doesn't make it good.
Right.
Just as you said, it won't. It will tend to pull back the support that he's getting, because some people will is gonna they're gonna find it hard to stand with a criminal that was known for a crime like that. Now that doesn't say that that. Let me see. Is that a little better?
Yes.
Okay. Now that doesn't say that what
Hey, Karma Diva. You can jump on the stream if you want to, boo. I'm gonna give you the link.
that doesn't say that what he did was excusable by no means. But it doesn't mean that what these people did to him was right either. And it still should not be stood for. I mean, they should not, they had no absolutely no reason to chase them down, him and his companion throwing and spitting at whatever they did, and then subsequently running him over with a vehicle because of a hate crime. And that's basically what it was. So one did not have anything to do with the other one, but the coincidence is not good. You know, understand what I'm saying? The fact that he,
Mhm.
it makes it hard, like, it's not, that's what he gets, because
Mhm.
nobody deserves to be ran over because of the color of their skin.
Exactly.
But at the same time, like I said before, a lot of people find sex crimes, especially to children, unforgivable.
Right.
And it's just terrible that he was out being really loud and boisterous, talking about he wants justice when justice was just served to you.
And I get what you're saying. I do. I really do get what you're saying. I'm just like, I understand why some people probably won't forgive a sex crime per se, but I still think that in spite of all that, a black man was attacked by some
Exactly.
white people who were probably obviously um white supremacists, maybe racist, and who knows? It could be none of that. They could just be some crazy people out there, high, drunk, just messing around. Some people even said, well, it could be the police. Maybe it's the police. They running around here, trying to scare people, trying to incite some type of race war or something like that.
Right.
So
But by no stretch of the imagination is street justice okay. You know what I'm saying? No matter what this
right.
man did in his lifetime and in his past, um, it's nobody's lot to go out and bring any type of street justice on him, especially after he served his time. He did his bid for that, what have you. But I will say that I am certain that if he is a registered offender, he had no business out there with those young girl protesters, those
Mhm,
children.
mhm.
So that's something different. Unless they're related with him, I don't know how that goes. But those are things, you know, that you want to look at. But no, he was still wrong, and nobody had um, the right to do that.
Right.
And I'd like to know now what was going on at the restaurant before they left. Was he?
Well, the restaurant, I mean, there was people coming out the restaurant while we was there protesting this evening. Because remember, I found out about his past history after I protest. People just started inboxing me stuff like, I'm like, what is y'all inboxing me about this man? We out here protesting and he was done wrong. And and so they inboxed me that and I was like, oh Lord, this is going to make a big effect, most likely on the support that he received. And again, I understand how some people's like, oh, if you do something to a child, rape them, traffic, whatever, that's unforgivable. But the man served his time. People is like, I don't condone what he did, and I don't condone what he did either. But what the white dudes did ain't cool either.
Exactly.
They're I mean, if they were to do more than that. Instead of just run over his arm, if they were to kidnap them, take them in the woods somewhere, drag them, beat them, hang them, him and his girlfriend in the air, because most people who are racist or white supremacists, they do not believe in interracial relationships.
Not
So
with a woman.
it's a possibility if something would have went further, the girlfriend could have had some harm done to her as well, because that's just how evil minded those type of people are. So I agree with some people who say, the rape, the trafficking, the allegations or whatever of that is wrong. But these guys who did what they did the other night was wrong too. And I think they should find them out, and they should be, punished for that. And again, that's why the protest was tonight, because they think, the police is slacking on trying to find out the information, talk to witnesses, get the video coverage from these different establishments up and down 72nd Street. But then when I was talking to the guy and he was telling everybody how the police was treating him and stuff, I wonder if the police might have looked up his information.
Mm-hmm. But still, they still have a responsibility to serve and protect, even a criminal or what have you. Now, this is what I'm gonna say, and it's kind of funny, but I'm still gonna say it. Why you run and leave that girl out there by herself? He took off the run.
Well, I think I think
Girl, he ran like a beehive.
and somebody did comment in one of the posts. They said, you need a new boyfriend. I don't know why they said he need a new boyfriend, because see, the way I'm picturing it is that they pulled up in front of the McDonald's, because if you go to the McDonald's that I was filming at earlier, the door is right. I mean, it's right by where they pulled up. So I think he just reacted. When they pulled in behind him, he ran into the store to try to get help and open the door, but it was late.
You let my man
But I mean,
outside arguing with a bunch of men while he trying to go get help. You let me.
and see, she even said that she knows that probably wasn't the right thing to do. She jumping out the car, but I think that it might have happened simultaneously. Now, if they happen to be watching and they want to jump on the show and speak, or anybody else who's familiar with or close to the people and want to speak, the link is in the stream. I dropped the link already. I'll drop it again. If you want to jump on the StreamYard and jump on the screen and tell us how you feel about everything that's going on. But I think maybe it was simultaneously, like she jumped out, he jumped out. Because if a car is chasing you all the way from Pacific Street, and if you're in Omaha, you know what I'm talking about. If a car is chasing you all the way from Brick Oven Pizza on 72nd Pacific Street, all the way to Blondo Street, if they didn't pull over at McDonald's, ain't no telling what would have happened. And that's a long stretch. Probably about 2 miles, maybe. It's about 2 miles. And they chasing you, trying to run you off the street, throwing stuff at your car. Woo, woo, woo. If we pulled over at McDonald's and next thing you know, they pulled up right behind us, speeding and trying to ram our car, I would have probably jumped out the car too. Just out of reflexes, because the thing about it is, in that parking lot in the front of McDonald's is a hill. So if the car would have got rammed, it would have went down the hill. So I don't know. Like I said, I tried to get them to come on the show to explain the story, but I'm just getting, the little information I got at the protest and from the Facebook post. But a lot of people have took back their shares that they had shared about his story, of support for, what happened to him the other night. And a lot of people's like, I hate that I supported. And I'm just like,
it was still wrong though.
It was still wrong though.
Yeah, it was still wrong. It doesn't make, it any easier to swallow, but it was still wrong. What was done to them was really, really wrong. But now what it will probably do is it will probably make people want to research a little bit further before jumping ahead and protesting unless something from the very beginning is said to or proven to be, you know, an act of bigotry or racist behavior or something like that. But
Uh-huh.
um, I can understand, how people would. I probably wouldn't take back my share or anything like that. I would, like I said, would just, express my opinion that, hey, we all guilty of something, I guess. He served his time, but this has absolutely nothing to do with the fact that this man was, attacked, him and his companion.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I think it's really sad. I really think it's really, really sad because it's like, okay, I get if you do a crime, you have to serve the time. You do. And that's why I'm kind of playing devil advocate here because I read all the posts. I read, what people have to say about the man. Like, we ain't, we ain't, uh, we ain't supporting him and woo 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 because he did this, 5 years ago, woo woo woo. But I'm just playing devil's advocate, and I'm like, that just because you do something wrong doesn't mean somebody has a right to do something wrong to you.
To you.
If you
That's
serve
right.
your time, you do the crime, you serve the crime. I think you said earlier, a lot of people come out of jail and some of them come out changed, some don't, but we don't know unless we know those people personally, if they really change when they come out of prison or come out of jail or not. But I truly believe that just because you did even if it was a heinous crime,
Mhm.
if something happens to you, I still think the police should take it serious. And that's the whole thing. They think the police isn't taking it serious. And like you said, they have the right and they have the duty to take it serious.
Mhm.
Like, regardless if the police found out that you used to be a drug dealer, that you used to be a big time pimp, that you used to be a child trap. I mean, regardless, if you are attacked and ran over by a car, like in my video earlier, his whole arm is bandaged up, his
Mhm.
whole side of his arm, there's no skin. It's just,
Wow.
and he was run over. So you, the police, you are in that position where you are supposed to help
Mhm.
and investigate crimes. And that's what the whole protest is about today. And I don't feel necessarily like people should back out of the support. I really don't.
Yeah.
I really don't. I mean, there's a lot of people who do a lot of stuff, and a lot of people just don't get caught.
Right.
There's a lot of people who do a lot of stuff, a lot of dirt, and they don't get caught. He
Mhm.
happened to get caught up in something. He served his time. I hope that he would never do anything or get into any kind of predicament like that again.
Yeah.
But I, for one, want our police department to take this serious because what if it's somebody else? What if this is not a revenge? What if
Exactly.
this was a random thing and these people are, because on the post that that I had saw earlier, there was somebody who said that a lady said something like this happened to her a few weeks ago, same type of story, same description of vehicle, and it was late at night and they chased her, they tried to run her off the so I'm not too set on this being some kind of revenge thing.
Mhm.
It could be some two white crazy men in Omaha wait until it's late at night, taking their place off their car and stalking people and trying to run them over and hurt them.
Exactly.
What if it's that? And then what if it happens to somebody else because the police isn't taking this serious? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and then what if that fuels the fire to say, "Oh, okay, well he was a criminal anyway, so we just could have ended the world or lessened the world of one less criminal or something like that." It's just taking justice in your own hand, and it just totally, you know, abolishes the just judicial system. They were not
Right.
right for what they did. He wasn't right for what he did either. And by no stretch of the imagination am I even saying that this guy was is all right with me, because he's not. But
Right.
incidents are I am very, very, very strongly against sexual predators and abusers. Um,
Hey, I'm part of the Me Too. So
so exactly.
me too.
I
So
and
I feel you.
and me also. So I can, in that aspect, you know what I'm saying, that would be dealt in another situation, but we're dealing with the situation at hand. That has been
Right.
dealt with in time past, but this is what's going on right now, and it wasn't right, and it can't continue to go on. And this
I
is just
can't.
one of now hundreds of things that are going on in the United States per week, and a lot of incidents that we have not even heard about. You know,
Right.
potential lynchings and people who got away from it, and
A lot of people didn't get a chance to record. Like somebody said that. But you know what? That's what somebody said on the Facebook post too. They said if somebody was following y'all trying to run y'all off the road, why weren't y'all? Why didn't somebody pull out a camera? And I think you just gotta be in their shoes. I think you just gotta be in their shoes because if you being chased and you about to be ran off the road, you probably trying to get somewhere safe and focus on the road
like,
before you
why,
try to grab.
why do you run?
But try to grab a.
Your woman something. Why did you run? And you don't ever leave your woman behind or your children. What the what?
I don't know.
Oh my God.
Somebody on the line. Sprint sucks. That's a weird name. Um. Hello.
Yeah. Hello?
Yes.
Hi.
Yeah.
Sprint sucks. That voice sounds familiar. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. I was at the protest today. I wasn't protesting. I was just there covering the events.
Okay. Okay. And what's your take on all this?
Well, I didn't know all the stuff that all the stuff that you sent me. I didn't know about that. I was going by and I saw the commotion, so I just came out to cover it.
Okay.
I don't think yeah, I don't respect people that did what he did. Um but now I mean it's hard because what I mean if it was I just I
Yeah.
mean it's
Yeah.
I mean yeah I mean you know what I'm saying but I mean Duke went to jail. Now I could see like you know what I mean if he got off or something like on some Zimmerman type stuff
Mm-hmm.
and you know what I mean the people with the truck saw him and got him then that's that. But nah but I mean I think for them people to do what they did they took the license plates off and tried to get him
Mm-hmm.
regardless of circumstances that need to be investigated thoroughly. Get the surveillance cameras. I mean, we got surveillance cameras everywhere. We got drones.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, we got shot spotters and all other types of stuff. So,
Right.
but sometimes, yeah. So yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I know when I was talking with the guy for a few minutes tonight, he just kept mentioning how the police kept, at, like treating them like they were not victims and was asking them, all their information. Well, how does like acting like, and then they was questioning them like, did y'all start this? Did y'all get into something with these guys? Did y'all? I mean, instead of I guess they didn't like the approach that the officers gave them.
Prince Sucks,
Yeah,
are you still there?
Yeah, he's here.
yeah,
Oh,
yes,
okay. So can I ask you a question?
yeah.
If your daughter had been sexually assaulted, would you feel this? Would you have? How would you feel at that point?
Well, for record, I don't have any children, but
Okay,
if I put myself in that scenario, but if I put myself in that scenario, then if Duke did that and some people hit him with a car, hey, I mean, you know what I mean, I'd have been like, damn, that's it. They ain't getting.
And see, that's a lot of people's attitude today after that hit the fan. Because again, I don't know if you remember Sprint Sucks, but I can vaguely recall this story 5 years ago when it happened. I remember hearing about a story of trafficking, Omaha teenager. I remember hearing a story, but I don't remember like who it happened to. So when I got the, people send me stuff all the time. So when I got the clip in my inbox, I was like, oh no, this is supposed to be the time where we're supposed to be supporting each other and coming out and protesting and making the police do their due diligence. But now after this, like a lot of people is backing away, like, well, that's what he get. That's his payback. That's his. I don't know. Again, I'm just playing devil's advocate. I think we should keep continually to support because one situation, I don't know. He served his time. I'm like, I don't know.
Right. Duke was kind of standoffish because he only wanted to talk to the established media, and it's like, okay, the established media isn't over here helping you. I watched Channel 7. I didn't see anything on there, and if he would have spoken to you, then the established media would have picked it up because you're not. You're established. You're not. You know what I'm saying? You're underground, but you're well respected. So,
yeah, well, other people have mentioned that to me tonight, and I was like, when I reach out to somebody about a situation and ask them to come on the show, especially if the news isn't covering it and it's something serious, I do feel like, okay, a lot of people look at YouTubers and bloggers as less than, the KETV, WW, whoop de whoop whoop. But we all know every news station in Nebraska was knocking on my door, showing up at my house unannounced, inboxing me, emailing me to get information on the story we broke a couple of weeks ago about the news being left on somebody's desk at Oriental Trading. So sometimes even the people who are on that scale of the local news, sometimes speaking on those platforms, it gets shared, and the media, I'm telling y'all don't know, the media watches everything. There are people in the media who is probably in every Facebook group that you're in. Mm-hmm. The media is everywhere. The local news pick up on stuff so fast sometimes because they done saw a post or somebody done tagged them or something, or somebody done shared it with something, and that's how they usually get their news. So just because you might be talking on a smaller platform does not mean it's going to, because after we did that story on the news, the media went out and spoke to the guy and the family that it actually happened to after reaching out to me to get information. And then it was on the public news. So, but I don't argue with people. If somebody say they don't want to be on my show, I'm not going to argue with them about it. If you want to talk to the local news media who's only going to 10 to 20 seconds of your 30-minute conversation, because that's what the news does. They will sit with you for 15, 20, 30 minutes and talk to you and write and record and ask you all these questions. And then when you see yourself on the news, it's like a 20-second story.
Yep. And then they're going to, once they get wind of this part of it, they're going to dissect it.
And that's what they do. They dissect every time we do break
a bigger story of what he did in the past than what happened to him the other day.
Exactly. And somebody else said, well, maybe that's why they didn't want to talk to you, Tanya, and come on your show, because of his past. And he might have thought that talking to the news media, the past wouldn't be coming out. But hey, the past came out anyway. People was posting his past all over YouTube, sharing it all around Omaha. Wow. So, it is what it is. But I still think that what happened to him was wrong, regardless of what he did in the past. he served his time. He did the crime. He served the crime, and I just feel like the police should still take it seriously. And I hope they're not taking it seriously because of his past, because that would be so wrong and immoral on all levels as a police officer.
Yeah.
But anyway, go ahead. 402 revenue. You had your connection had dropped for a second.
This is Sprint sucks.
Oh, that's right.
But my question for the other lady is, if she had a son that molested a girl and he got convicted and went to prison, how would she feel if some dudes in the truck try to run him over?
To be honest with you, my stand would still be the same. I am I'm a victim of sexual assault. And I can still, separate the two. And I know that even though what he did in the past was wrong, and I don't like it, I probably wouldn't sit down and have tea and crumpets with him. But for what was done to him, it was still wrong. And even if it were my son, if he was not the person that offended my son, then I would still, out my, it would still be wrong, and I would still say that it's wrong, but I wouldn't be at a mark. But that's because I don't want to be in the same space as that individual.
Yeah,
Does that make sense?
Right.
I can understand that.
Yeah.
I can definitely understand that. I can definitely understand that. So, as far I'm gonna ask Spring Sucks. Um, Now I know you personally, and we sometimes, support a lot of local causes and protests and rallies and events. Um, so if there happened to be another protest or rally or event for this, would you attend after knowing everything?
I'm not sure. I mean, it could go either way. If I'm driving past like I did today and see something, I'm going to inquire as to what it's about. But I'll say this: I may be covering an event, but if I'm covering it, then it doesn't mean that I support or protest the event. I'm just covering for historical purposes, historical slash documentary
Mm-hmm.
type purposes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I got you. I get it. I understand. I do. I totally understand. Well, I just wanted to get the feedback of the people, especially in the community, and I definitely wanted the community um to have their say on our show regarding this issue, because it's really hard right now for a lot of people, because we know what happened a few nights ago. I just put myself in her shoes as the female.
Mhm.
And I know I would have been scared. I mean, I would have been doing like 1,000 down 72nd Street, because you don't never know. It's black people being hung in trees all over the place right now, and people and the police and authorities is calling it suicide. You
Mhm.
know, it's a lot of people being killed right now, and it's a lot of white supremacists coming out the bushes
Yeah.
right now. Like when we were standing on 72nd Street tonight, somebody rolled past and said, "Get a job." Like we out here protesting, and somebody drove past, and then of course it was some white people, and they drove past and screamed, "Get a job!" And we all was like, "Who says we don't have a job?" But a lot of white people's in their feelings, black people's in their feelings. The tension is at an all-time high right now. I thought it would never be like this, you know, as high as it is right now compared to other times. I'm like, wow, I can't believe in 2020 this kind of stuff is still going on. Like, so I don't know. I don't know.
I'll say this: it never stops.
Yeah.
Like the lynchings and the stuff, the kidnappings, the trafficking. It it never stopped. I think now you have an administration that is sending out all of these dog whistles,
Mm-hmm.
and the dogs are being responded to accordingly. So you
Yeah.
got that going on, and
I
also too,
like that analogy.
uh, Will Smith a while ago said something key. He said racism has got worse. It's being filmed
Yeah.
now with technology that we have. You see the videotaping of these women that they refer to as Karens, and you see the police in the midst of their corruption. It's been going on, but we and other people say, "Well, this happened," and our words are our truth as people has constantly been marginalized for centuries. But now we've got the proof. It doesn't matter who records it, and then they still want to marginalize it and say, "Don't believe your lying eyes
Mm-hmm.
or your lying ears."
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Even when we see it as big as day on film, it's still like
Correct.
just like with the George, the guy who was killed by the police officer on his neck. It was recorded by so many different angles, and still yet they were trying not to prosecute those police officers until everybody from here to Thailand, I mean, just all across the freaking world
Well, mhm.
started protesting against
All
that.
yeah, all 50 states, and I believe every continent except for Antarctica
Mm-hmm.
and the South Pole. So yeah,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
yeah,
Everybody, I mean, all over the earth. It was this, and I've never seen nothing like it before. I mean, there's been so many things from the Rodney King and before that and after that, and I've never seen it the way it is now with so much support for Black Lives Matter. So in this situation, I'm just going to leave it at that. I still think that regardless of what this man might have done in his past, I still think that his life matters and the life of his girlfriend.
Mhm.
I mean, regardless how we feel about him, he was with his girlfriend. They could have been killed. And I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, we can't allow people to start being vigilantes.
Yeah, right. Just because you did a crime that somebody doesn't agree with or think it was heinous or something, that means people have the right to be a vigilante and who knows? Like I said, this could be this could be random.
I believe that's
I
exactly.
don't know.
I believe it was random, and then when there's something like that happens, then people would take the opportunity to do whatever they can to um, besmudge the person to lessen the effect of it, to lessen the impact that it has on the community. So,
Hmm. Hmm.
if we can make him look dirty and nasty, we can make this not look so bad. So maybe we'll be on the sympathy of the women and the children and this that, and the other, and
Yeah,
perhaps
because I wonder, like, okay, the person who posted the post of him going to prison and the trafficking and stuff, I wonder where they got that information from. Like I think it. I don't know if I think it was maybe somebody who knew them personally. Maybe I think that's what I'm not sure, but
mm,
it's like if you knew them personally and they're going through what they're going through now, and you posted that, that show wouldn't be somebody I want in my circle. If I'm in his shoes, I'm just saying.
right.
But and if it was something else, like somebody just pulled it out the bag and put it out there, like who investigates somebody who is attacked in the way? I don't know. I don't know.
I'd
Who?
like to
Yeah.
know who was the person that found out about these charges.
Well, the person's name, I'm not gonna say their
No,
name,
no, 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 no.
but
How how did they come about the information? Is what I'm wondering.
yeah, I think it might have been somebody who knew him personally. I think. I'm
Oh,
not sure. Don't quote me.
it's not unlikely. It's not unlikely.
I'm not sure.
Yeah. Not, and I'm not saying that they did anything wrong. By bringing information forth. I'm not saying that because I don't think they were wrong.
But why now? Why now? Is my question.
What did that have to do with?
Like, were you waiting to post this? Like, why now? When the man is seeking support from his community and from the police, this happened 5 years ago. Why now? I don't know. But anywho, Sprint Sucks, thanks for joining us on the platform tonight. I appreciate it.
You.
Yeah, you're welcome. No problem at all.
It's always good to talk to him. He will come up over my house and bum rush and sit down and be like, I'm coming on the show. But yeah, he's cool as a fan. Sprint Sucks. So everybody else, thanks for tuning in tonight. Miss Sislo, if you can, drop your link in the chat so everybody can know your YouTube channel link. Miss Sislo is a YouTuber. She's also one of my moderators. She's also a member of the Hood Table Squad. If you would like to become a member of the Hood Table Squad and get those special perks that YouTube gives to members, all you gotta do is click the join button right next to the subscribe button. Now, everybody who subscribed to the Hood Table Squad, we appreciate every watch, every like, every subscription, every share, every comment. When you come up on the screen and talk to us, especially on Friday Night Lives, because they be lit on Friday nights. But even if you don't join, we still appreciate your support. But for the special members, you get special perks. You get one-on-ones with me, not one-on-ones, but you get like sessions, Q&As with me, story times with me, different things that I've been through, throughout my life. Those are for members only. You get to know a little bit more about me. A lot of people know a lot about me if you're from Omaha, Nebraska, but as a member, if you join, that's just one of the perks. You get special emojis to use, you get special loyalty badges, member only lives, Q&A sessions. Every month I'm going to be doing like sending out things. I have somebody working on t-shirts right now. This is one of the t-shirts, but I'm really not happy with it. So, I'm looking elsewhere. But so you also, get things from me in the mail. So that's what members get. So anyway, if you want to become a member of the Hood Table Squad, just click the join button after you hit the subscribe button. If you already subscribed, just hit the join button. And YouTube will take care of that for you. They'll walk you through the steps. But is there any last words you want to say, Miss Sislo?
No, I just want to thank you so much for. Oh, that's the right link. I just put in there.
Yeah, Miss Sislo just dropped her link to her YouTube channel, so please support her channel. She is a wonderful YouTuber as well, and she supports the Hood Table totally, and I vouch for her. She's a great YouTuber. So, yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just saying I appreciate you. It's fun talking to Sprint.
He is a character. I love me some him though. He's so cool. I've been knowing him for years. He just changed his YouTube name. He got a new YouTube account. So when he came on, I'm like, who is Sprint Sucks? But as soon as you heard me when I say I recognize this voice. Yeah, but I had sent him the information on the protest. So when he was talking about, I just got the information you sent me and I came out to support because he's a huge supporter of different things that goes on in our community. So a lot of times us supporters in the community, we send each other, text each other, tag each other, come out, we here, how it goes. But yeah. But thank you. And your video, I was on her video earlier today. We was talking about Jada and Will. And even though her and I had different opinions on the matter, it was a great show. I love me some Miss Sislo. That's why I love in our song, the Hood Table song, it says, people might have different opinions in conversations. We might have different opinions, but you know what? That's how it is sometimes when you're discussing things, especially things in the media. People will have different opinions, but it don't matter. Everybody has a right to their points and views. So, yeah. But other than that,
girl, thank you for having me.
All right, girl.
Yeah, I'm right there.
Girl. Okay, well, I'm going to get off of here because it is almost 11:26, and normally,
It's
we
afternoon.
don't be this late on a regular video unless it's Friday Night Live. That's when we do like our 2-3 hours of cutting the heck up. But so normally we aren't hey Deborah, how you doing? Deborah in the chat. Welcome to the chat, Deborah. And she's right. Different opinions expand the mind. You are absolutely right. And you learn from each other. Even if you don't agree, you learn different things from each other. So that's absolutely right. But okay, y'all, we about to get out of here. Tomorrow I'm about to get up early in the morning. I'm about to put that grill on and I'm about to grill up some food and enjoy the rest of my Sunday. I hope everybody has a wonderful Sunday. Miss Sislo and everybody in the chat and everybody who comes in later and watch the replay. Please feel free to put your comments in the chat about this issue. The title of the video is this person who was, allegedly charged with a sex trafficking crime and served his time. Does he not deserve to be supported after he serves his time if a hate crime is done to him? I say yes. We should support him. Some people feel differently, but again, everybody has a right to their own opinion. Thank you, Harper Sean. Thanks, love. Thanks for tuning in. That's one of the Hood Table Squad members. Thank you. And in the meantime and in between time, stay safe, be blessed, and we out. Deuces. Good night, Miss Cisco.
Night, love.
All right, good night.